My name is Marianne Hale, and for most of my life, I understood something few people ever truly grasp. Everything breaks. Not suddenly. Not loudly. But quietly, in ways most people never notice until it's too late. I spent 35 years restoring historic buildings, cathedrals, courthouses, forgotten libraries, places others were eager to demolish. Where developers saw decay, I saw structure. Where they saw inconvenience, I saw history holding its breath. I was trained to find weakness where others saw stability. I just never expected the weakest structure in my life would be my own family. Before the fracture. The night it began, everything appeared perfect. My son, Ethan, had arranged a dinner for my 64th birthday, early, he said, because we're all so busy. The restaurant he chose was an old converted archive hall, vaulted ceilings, amber lighting, polished wood. The kind of place that whispers importance. His wife, Clara, sat beside him. Elegant. Controlled. Always just a little too perfect. Anyone watching us would have seen a loving family. I saw something else. Attention too smooth to be real. Like a wall freshly painted to hide a crack. The first warning. Halfway through dinner, Ethan leaned forward. "You've done enough, Mom," he said gently. "You don't need to keep pushing yourself." Clara smiled softly. "You've built something incredible. But maybe it's time to rest." There it was. The word. Rest. They'd been circling it for months. I nodded politely, but inside, something shifted. Not loudly. Just enough. Like a beam settling under pressure. The slow unraveling. For weeks before that dinner, something had been wrong. My vision blurred at odd times. Straight lines bent slightly. Depth felt unreliable. I blamed age. Fatigue. Too many late nights over blueprints. But that night, the room tilted again, just slightly, as if the floor itself had lost confidence. Ethan noticed. Of course he did. "You see," he said softly. "This is exactly what we're worried about." Worried. Such a gentle word. Such a dangerous one. The suggestion. By dessert, they were already discussing paperwork. Retirement arrangements. Transfer of authority. "Just temporarily," Ethan assured me. "Until you feel better." Clara added, "It's about protecting you." Protecting me. From what? From myself. The mistake. When dinner ended, I stepped outside for air. The night was cool, quiet. For a moment, I let myself breathe. Then I reached into my bag. No phone. I sighed. Turned back. Walked inside. And that was the last ordinary decision I ever made. The locked door. The restaurant was nearly empty. Lights dimmed. Chairs stacked. A young waitress stood near the entrance. She looked at me, really looked, and something in her expression made my pulse spike. Fear. Not for herself. For me. Before I could speak, she locked the door. The click echoed louder than it should have. "I just need my phone," I said sharply. She didn't move. "You need to see something," she whispered. The truth revealed. She led me through a narrow hallway into a small staff room. A security monitor flickered on the desk. She pressed a key. The footage appeared. My table. My dinner. My life. I watched myself stand up and leave the frame. Then everything changed. The moment everything broke. Ethan leaned back in his chair. His face emptied. Not concern. Not love. Calculation. Clara shifted, blocking the table from view. Ethan reached into his jacket. Pulled out a small vial. Clear. Precise. Deliberate. He tilted it over my wine glass. A few drops. No hesitation. No doubt. Clara laughed. Soft. Satisfied. The sound of betrayal. The waitress turned on the audio. Ethan's voice filled the room. She thinks it's age. Clara chuckled. How long until she can't function at all? Not long, he replied. Couple more weeks. And then? She'll sign anything. Collapse. I don't remember falling. Only the cold floor against my back. The sound of my own breathing, sharp, broken. My son. My child. Poisoning me. Not to kill me. To control me. Understanding. Please, don't faint, the waitress whispered. I almost laughed. Fainting would have been easier. Instead, something else happened. Clarity. Cold. Precise. Absolute. This wasn't chaos. It was design. And design can be dismantled. The shift. I'm not sick, I said slowly. She stared at me. This isn't age, I continued. It's timing. Pattern. Control. The pieces aligned instantly. My vision worsened after meals with Ethan. Improved when I traveled alone. It had never been random. It had been administered. The decision. I stood. My legs trembled, but not from fear. From fury. Thank you, I told her. She shook her head. I couldn't let you walk away. I handed her cash. Forget everything, I said. She nodded. I walked out the back door. And I did not cry. Not then. The investigation. At home, I didn't go to bed. I went to my studio. The only place that still felt true. I laid out what I had taken. A coaster stained with my wine. I ran tests. Old equipment. Reliable. The results were clear. A synthetic compound. Temporary optic nerve disruption. Designed to mimic aging. Not to destroy. To weaken. The realization. Ethan didn't want me dead. He wanted me compliant. That was worse. The performance begins. The next morning, I called him. I let my voice tremble. I can't see properly, I whispered. His pause lasted just a second. Then concern flooded in. Mom, this is why we talked about stepping back. Perfect. Bring the papers, I said. I'm ready. The discovery. While they prepared their victory, I searched my home. I found vials. Hidden carefully. I found tampered supplements. And then. Something worse. A corporate marking beneath a label. A development firm. One I had blocked for years. This wasn't just betrayal. It was strategy. The stage is set. When they arrived, I played my role. Weak. Confused. Grateful. Ethan relaxed. Clara smiled. They believed they had already won. The delay. As I reached for the pen, I accidentally knocked over water. Documents ruined. Signatures dissolved. Ethan almost snapped. Almost. Instead, he forced a smile. We'll sign at the council meeting, I suggested. Public. Official. Final. He agreed. Of course he did. The overheard truth. Later, I heard him outside. She's worse than we thought, he said. She'll sign. No problem. A voice on the phone replied. Once it's done, proceed immediately. Proceed. Not transition. Erasure. The countermeasure. That night, I made one call. To a man who understood documents better than people. Together, we accessed something no one else knew existed. A hidden legal structure. A safeguard. Everything I had built, protected. Even from my own signature. The final act. At the council meeting, the room was full. Ethan sat confidently. The documents ready. The future, secured. So he thought. I stood. Held the pen. Paused. Before I sign, I said calmly. There's something you need to see. The exposure. The footage played. The vial. The pour. The laughter. The truth. Silence fell like a collapse. Ethan stood, panicked. She's confused. I am, I said. From Betrayal. The ending. Authorities stepped in. Documents surfaced. Evidence sealed everything. Ethan didn't look back as they took him away. I didn't call his name. Some structures are beyond repair. After. My firm changed. It became something untouchable. Permanent. Protected. Like the buildings I had spent my life saving. Final words. People think age makes you fragile. They're wrong. Age teaches you where the foundations are. And more importantly, how to bring everything crashing down. When someone tries to erase you,